What's up, guys? How are we feeling tonight? Welcome to Rex X Gray Area 8. It's crazy. Like, we've done 43 episodes of the Gray Area show itself, but I've already done over 7 of these, which is kind of nuts to think about. And when I was putting in the number, I was like, is this accurate? Is this right? Is this true? But I guess it is. So, thank you for tuning in yet again. Welcome to the show. It's going to be a chill stream. I'm going to get back to my roots and back to what I'm good at, which is a news blitz show. We're going to cover like 30, 35 different stories today, but blocked into 2 or 3 main stories. I got kind of a sandwich for you. I got one piece of the bun, which is going to be the WEF Davos stuff with Trump, with Larry Fink, with all of the ghouls, and honestly, some excellent reporting for someone that I've heavily criticized and really gone after in the past. So maybe I'll owe him a little bit of an apology because he did great work. Ezra Levant. Then I kind of got a slop sandwich in the middle for you. We got some fun stuff to watch. We got a little meat they're all going to laugh at today. I know I laughed at it when I saw it. It's probably some stuff you may have seen before, but maybe you haven't seen it before. If you have, maybe it's good for another chuckle. And then at the end, we're going to talk about Netanyahu. We're going to talk about Putin. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about the latest statement from Trump saying, if they kill me, if they're going to kill me, I've given instructions on a full strike. We're going to take them all out. We're going to talk about that, the new Gaza peace board or whatever it is that Netanyahu is now a member of, all of it. I've got a bunch of really good stories for y'all. I want to see what y'all are saying. Welcome to the show. Thank you for reposting the stream, Honey Badger. I appreciate it. What's up, Trans Tim Kennedy? What's up, Zach? What's good? Having a good day. Getting ready for the freeze. It's supposed to get really, really, really cold either on Friday or on Thursday, but it's going to go from it was like 78 today. Like, got a little hot. It'll be like 26 on Saturday. And then people are like, 26. I'm from Montana. It freezes up here. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever. We have like 150 days where it's over 90 degrees. Like, you don't know what 6 months of that is like. It's not fun. Not 6 months, but close to it. Point is, every region's got their kind of climate difficulties. Our problem here is that our weather is bipolar and it's about to take a swing. It's about to go off its meds. So, yeah, just checking in with y'all tonight. I'm heading up to Arkansas to duck hunt the freeze and snow. I can't wait. That sounds really fun, man. That sounds badass, dude. That's what I wish I was doing that right now, low key. But I'm here in Austin. I'm in the studio. We're actually doing a lot of stuff on the work front right now. I'm about to launch another supplement brand, which is pretty cool. We're about to revitalize one of my old stores, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that later on into the show. The point is like, I'm feeling motivated, and that's why I'm doing the daily shows. I feel motivated to come out here every day and to talk to you guys and to, cover the news. I'm not getting bored with it. I'm getting more excited. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the WEF. Now, what is the WEF? The World Economic Forum, also known as Davos, because that's the town they have it in. It's this very remote place, I think in Switzerland. I could be wrong about that. But essentially, you have to leave Germany, you have to get on a train, you have to go up a mountain or something, and then you're there. So it's very hard to get access to this place. And back in the day, there was, and I'm sure there still is to some extent, the Bilderberg and the Bilderberg group. That's kind of evolved and transformed into this over time. So the famous meme of you'll eat the bug and you'll be happy. That comes from Klaus Schwab, who is now the former disgraced chairman of the WEF. So it's all very interesting. We're going to get into it tonight. But I just wanted to share this. This is from James O'Keefe, and I thought this would be a good way to go ahead and start covering things tonight. World Economic Forum elites openly admit that chemicals are being sprayed into the atmosphere to cool the planet, like Bill Gates' famous missile of dust into the sun idea, and even onto the food supply. One insider admits most of these operations are handled by the military. Oh, our friends that need the $1 trillion budget, of course, carried out quietly and behind closed doors. James O'Keefe went undercover at the World Economic Forum, capturing officials on camera admitting to what's long been dismissed as a conspiracy theory, like the chemtrail stuff and all that. And here's the thing: I hate the UFO stuff. I hate the flat Earth stuff. All of it. The chemtrail stuff is 100% legit, man. They're spraying stuff up there all the time that there's no reason for it to be added to the jet fuel. And we'll look at what they say here. A lot of the work actually came out of the military, one admits. They do this all the time, and it's actually pretty cheap to do. Oh, yeah. See, it's saving them money. That's what's important. It's not messing with everyone without their consent. Did you give informed consent to this happening? I know I didn't.
So we invest in these technologies to assist with the the warming climate and the effect of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere will help block some of the warming, and the particles stay in the air for 1 year. So, and actually, we're speaking to some of the airplane manufacturers and to see if they can emit some of our technology into the atmosphere to help with the global warming. That's right. Yeah, climate. I mean, we don't like to use the term climate engineering. It scares people, so we prefer.
Yes, but it's but for me, being an engineer, I think that's actually what you do. It's
yes.
You can have financial engineering, you can have, I'm sure, climate engineering, because it involves something that's more scientific.
Yes, exactly. You're an engineer, you understand. And from Sweden, right? Yeah. So we don't like to call them chemtrails. We don't like to use this.
So what do you call it instead?
Well, we call it aerosol injection. Aerosol. It's kind of like little droplets, and the droplets form in the air, and they stay there for a year.
Yeah.
It's modeled kind of a mini volcanic eruption, actually.
Yeah. I mean, aviation fuels have some sulfur in them, so it creates some sulfur dioxide emissions naturally, and that does have a cooling effect.
Now, this guy, Kennedy Ritchie, who runs a company called For Air, spoke on stage, and he says on his website that he wants to, quote, decarbonize the aviation industry. He actually told me he was trying to eliminate contrails entirely, but then brought up cloud seeding.
A lot of the work actually came out of the military, so they do this all the time.
Have you worked with them at all?
No, because they're a little more closed door about their procedures.
You ever heard of sulfur dioxide?
Yeah.
You've heard of that? Okay. Yeah.
It's actually pretty cheap to do it.
Oh, did you consent to sulfur dioxide being put in your atmosphere without consent? And that's just one of the many things, one of the many goodies they have for you. Did you consent to this? I don't think so. I don't think so. Did we ever get to vote on this? Has this ever been a topic of a presidential campaign? No, because the public largely believes that things like this just are conspiracy theories and they're not true. And it's because of the brainwashing, right? And obviously, James O'Keefe is leading these people on, right? And he's acting like he's someone that actually does this. He's not. He's an investigative journalist at the end of the day. But, like, this guy's involved in it. He knows what's up. He knows what's going on.
The ability to put sulfur dioxide there is actually a pretty cheap way to cool down the earth. So the opportunity for one or two people to do it is impressive. He went a little further. He's like, it'd be interesting if the government start doing this over each other's territories on purpose. Like if we start getting to weather modification as a government, either good or bad. The closest one I'm aware of is someone called Airborne Snow Observatory. They do some more like weather. I don't want to say modification, but more like upper.
Yeah, I'm pausing it because I want to read a comment from Naal. East Palestine, Ohio. Yeah, I mean, that's not even talked about anymore. That's been totally memory hold. What was it? It was like vinyl chloride that the train was full of, along with like millions of other horrific chemicals and whatnot, and it exploded. And then everyone in that town gets like cancer and dies, and then they don't even get paid like 10 grand. I definitely need to cover that. That's not a dead story. That's a living story. It's always a living story. It's a national crime. So thank you for bringing that up. And that's another thing. It's like, we don't even think about these things. Imagine having to live through that. I mean, good Lord.
Atmosphere weather monitoring is probably a better term.
Yeah. Now, according to the website Airborne, this is what this guy Ritchie brings up, measures snow depth, snow water equivalence, provides highly accurate snowpack data, is a commercial spin-off of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory snow monitoring technology used to help water managers and scientists.
Earlier today in this room, Al Gore was in this room, Larry Fink was in this room, and now we are in the room talking to people about geoengineering.
It's crazy that he just puts on, I know I need to keep the mic muted while I have the video live. I apologize for that. It's crazy how he just goes in there wearing a blonde wig and they like don't know who he is. And he's like, he's gone to dinner on like a date with like every successful connected bureaucratic like gay Democrat in Washington, D.C. and some Republicans too. And they just like tell him this stuff. And it's like, do you not know at this point who this person is? I reckon that's James O'Keefe. Like with the hair and whatnot, it kind of looks like Kyle Kalinske. But that's James O'Keefe right there. I mean, wow. It really is that easy, I guess.
Weather modification and the trails that come behind airplanes and what's going on.
I don't want aluminum oxides in my lettuce. Are you kidding me?
Say that again? Aluminum oxide.
mock signs, and the mock signs are part of the cocktail from hell that they're spreading about.
Oh, so they're talking about it. They're upset about it. They don't want to eat it. Some of the insiders there, and they're having this conversation. This is being recorded by James O'Keefe. This is pretty crazy, and this is just the beginning of the show tonight. I got a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I got one thing, as like I said it on Due Dissidence. I like stuff that's like cartoon bad to cover because it's just like objectively like how can you support it? And it's like a caricature of the thing, but it's what the thing actually is. That's not what I'm going to play just now. I'm going to cover Larry Fink because I think that's the most important thing. He's the CEO of BlackRock, and he's talking about, you know, very, very big, very, very upcoming large upheavals in like the way that we live in our lives and the way that everything will be digitized. So I want to get to that, but just hold on for like 15 minutes. If you're just joining me now, hold on for like 15 minutes, please. I promise I'm going to give you what you want, because I saw it and I was like, this cannot be real. Like this is like a AI cartoon that Nick Fuentes came up with or something. But it's real. It's legit. And that's not what I'm going to show now. I'm showing it in 15 minutes. I'm going to show Larry Fink first because it's more important, but it's only a minute of him talking. So we'll go ahead and present that now. Larry Fink.
I think the movement towards tokenization, decimalization is necessary. It's ironic that we see two emerging countries leading the world in tokenization.
This guy runs everything and he can't even fucking talk. He can't even speak. Like, these are the people that are in charge of everything. Like, really? Learn how to speak. Learn how to communicate. Be an effective communicator. I guess you don't have to be if you have a certain amount of money and a certain amount of influence. But, I mean, like, dang, it's just like Alex Karp, too.
And digitization of their currency. That's Brazil and India. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization by reducing more fees if we had all investments on a tokenized platform, that you could move from a tokenized money market fund to equities and bonds and back and forth. We have one common blockchain. We will, we could reduce corruption. So I would argue that yes, we have more dependencies on maybe one blockchain, which we could all talk about. But that being said, the activities are probably processed and more secure than ever.
Okay. So we've decided that fiat is no longer legitimate. So instead of doing that, we're just going to have a CBDC, and we're going to have a bank digital currency that's just like fake money that we actually agree is fake money, instead of just assigning it some debt-based value. So that'll be interesting to see. And I saw Owen cover that, and I wish I could give a more meta level point on that. I'm just not smart enough. But the point is, the whole new system is being constructed. And I saw Owen cover it. I wish I had the clip because it's such a great clip. So I'll just regurgitate what he said, and I highly encourage you to watch his live and to watch his live today. But essentially, it's like, he goes, I go to a farmer's market with $20. I buy some groceries at the farmer's market. No one knows about that transaction. No one can tax that transaction. No one can actually declare that it occurred and have a payment processor interfere at the middle so someone gets their cut. And they hate that. They cannot abide that. So everything's in the name of security and convenience. And, we gonna always help the people. It's just gonna make more sense for the global system. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stop trying to take away our cash. I mean, this is a huge thing. And like, you don't even realize it when you're just like using your phone to pay for something or using a card to pay for something, how much more money you spend that way. And a lot of it isn't even in the money you actually spend. It's in the taxation and the fees and everything being done online. And I'm big on this. I love to shop retail in stores. I'll drive somewhere. If it's 40 minutes away, I'll go there and shop. It's just like how I like to do things, because I don't want to give Amazon my money. Like, at the end of the day, though, none of us will probably have a choice. So that was actually shorter than I thought it would be. I'm going to go ahead and show you the third thing, which is what we all wanted to see. So, like, this is like cartoon bad. This is a joke. At the Davos World Economic Forum, president of the Conference of European Rabbis, why is he there? Says the rise of the extreme right in Europe is a response to the insecurity felt by the old Europeans. Dude, so-called old Europeans, regarding the new immigrants. The new friends, the new immigrants who came from the Middle East. And he's like, well, we destroy their religion, we topple their country, we send them to you, but you cannot be racist against them. Oh, no, this is not allowed. No, you're a bigot, old European. These are your new friends. Meanwhile, they're building a super state in Levant that'll take over everything in the next 50 years. And the consequence of that is that people from Afghanistan, people from Iraq, people from Syria, people from North Africa in general are going to come to Europe. And ultimately, I saw a statistic, and it was like Europe had like 6 point something million births. And then like, I think it was like Nigeria that almost had the same amount. So like you're cooked and like you're done. And people in the audience, I don't know if coming over from like a due dissident side or whatever, we hear me talk about that and go like, maybe like, why is that a problem? Why is that an issue? Well, I think everyone deserves a homeland. That's my position. I don't think that's a racist thing to say. I think that's a rational thing to say. But ultimately, Rabbi Goldschmidt, I mean, come on. Come on, bro. Seriously? Emphasizes that fighting Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, these are the people that declare the Palestinians Amalek and declare biblical genocide on them. But see, it's okay for us to be a theocracy. It's okay for us to do all these things, but you can never do these things. In fact, if you do these things, you are the worst person on earth. You're Hitler, and you can't be Hitler, right? So like, this is why the wholesale rejection of all that BS and that line of questioning is coming about, and encourages cooperation between Muslim and Jewish leaders to combat rising nationalism. You can't make this stuff up. We'll go ahead and hear what he has to say.
Your Eminence, especially in Germany, you are facing a rise of anti-Semitism, but we are facing this all over the world. So I would like to hear what is your perspective on this.
The 7th of October has created turbulence in the whole world, a tremendous rise of anti-Semitism, organized, state-sponsored in many instances, in universities, on the streets, and a rise of 500%, maybe some instances to 1,000% of anti-Semitic acts. And there has also been a reaction of Europe. I think the rise of the extreme right in many European countries is a response to the insecurity felt by the old Europeans, so-called old Europeans, regarding the new immigrants who came from the Middle East. So I think that fighting Islamophobia and anti-Semitism is an interest of both religions and both communities. And when we do it together, it's going to be much more useful. We have created under also the Saudi umbrella more than 10 years ago, the Muslim Jewish Leadership Council, and which was successful. And we believe that we have to go this way if we want to make sure that every European can live in peace and walk in peace.
Hold on, I may have gotten a really stupid comment, or I may be misunderstanding it. But doesn't a homeland refer to where you come from, not where you have colonized? We're talking about Europe. We're talking about Europe, you know, the place where Europeans come from. We're talking about Europe. Not talking about America, talking about Europe. And that's what this guy is referring to as well. This is a European conference. So, okay, I don't know if I misunderstand that. I don't know if it like, I'm not trying to insult my audience, but like, come on, bro. More than 500 churches wiped out in Palestine since 1948. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. I can't say what I want to say about this dude because I'll get banned. And it won't be based off any attack or any, you know, vile trope or anything like that. I don't go there. Like these, like this war criminal collaborating state that this guy endorses. That I'll hold my tongue. I'm trying not to get banned, especially off YouTube. Please don't ban me. Like I have to have a bigger audience before I get banned, at least. Because like, I mean, like we can just look at this. We can just watch it again.
Your Eminence, especially in Germany.
Your Eminence, like, is this guy the king? Like, you don't call a priest that. I just. All right. No, dude, it's all good, Biskra. It's all good. It's all good. Ultimately, here's the thing. Is like a lot of these issues are very culturally and racially charged ultimately. So like, I understand why people have like strong views towards things. And like, I have strong views as well. I think everyone deserves a home. I think Africans deserve a home. I think Europeans deserve a home. I think Asians deserve a home. I think people that live in Mesoamerica deserve a home, all of it. right? Like everyone should be able to be proud of where they come from and ultimately live where they come from. And there's one group of people that likes to move groups of people around, likes to make giant wars happen so that populations have to go retreat places and have to seek refuge. And, maybe those situations wouldn't exist and those people wouldn't be there if there wasn't that ruling elite class doing those sort of things. It sucks. Like I'm censored now. I'm trying not to get banned. So appreciate it for now. Relax, Rex. Yeah, I appreciate it. They have homes. Yeah. Well, maybe one day they won't. Instant regret. We'll go ahead and play this. And I think this is Mark Rutte. I think this is the NATO Secretary of Defense or Defense Chair Chief.
First is a direct answer to the question of this pact. Can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans. I mean,
how?
Well, look.
But you're relying on them for these key elements. You've said earlier that Europe can defend itself without the Americans. If it comes down...
not exact, Mike. So that's not a quote.
More or less. More or less.
We'll
go back to the transcript. Yeah. More or less. More or less.
I love journalists.
But if it comes...
First is a direct...
Okay, so Europe's basically third world. They have nothing. They are broke. They have no natural resources. Everything they get is security and defense from us, which is the only reason why they have like a real decent social healthcare system and ways to take care of themselves is all beneficiary of the United States, ultimately. And these people have had the nerve to instigate this giant war or try to instigate this giant war between America and Russia regarding Ukraine. And I've covered Ukraine since or till I'm blue in the face, right? I've talked about it over and over and over again, how in March, a month after the war started, Zelensky flies to Istanbul, meets with the Russian delegation, peace offer on the table, recognize Crimea, Donbass, Donetsk, Kherson, and Luhansk, independent states, not Russian, not Ukrainian. They can vote on their own sovereignty and no NATO. And he was about to take that deal, but Boris Johnson got his fat ass on a plane and flew over to the Ukraine and said, "We gonna help you out, son. We gonna do it all for you now." And the neo-Nazi elements in his government that installed him, that we installed, people like Victoria Nuland and John McCain, of course. We instigated all of this, we being the globalist NATO collective. They try to get America as a country into it, but ultimately it's been these people at Davos, it's been these people in the EU and NATO overseas, across the pond, as they say, that have orchestrated all of this. And ultimately, they have decided that Ukrainians need to die, and maybe Europeans need to die as well, and definitely Americans need to die as well. So they've done everything they can, whether that's shipping long-range missiles into Ukraine so they can be launched at Russia, whether that's aiding and abetting Ukrainian intelligence so they can launch drones and blow up the nuclear triad, like MI6 is on record helping the Ukrainians pull off that operation. All these things, all these provocations. I mean, they flew a drone swarm at Putin's house, and that was like a month ago or something, or maybe under a month ago. And they have suffered all of this. The Russians have suffered all of this and have not escalated to the point of using the unconventional weapons. Whereas if we were in this position and someone was doing this on our hemisphere, hell, I mean, Maduro was just selling oil to China and we went over there and kidnapped him. Imagine what we'd do. You don't have to imagine. Look at the Cuban Missile Crisis, for example. Right? So I look at the Europeans and here's the thing. As an American, I like America. I'm proud to be an American. I want to have pride in my country. I really do. But we suck. We're very weak. We're very lazy. We're very aggressive for how weak and lazy we are as well. It's a whole thing. It comes from our culture. But ultimately, we are not as weak as the freaking Europeans are. I mean, it is a disaster over there. I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse. Japan losing World War II and the anime and everything after that and the old people population and the no births, or Europe where you win a war and then everything becomes so good because you agree to be the vassal of the US and they pay for your defense and you pay for luxury for your people, essentially. Something that we should have done for our people instead of paying for it for Europe, which is my view on that entire situation. And then however many years later, 80 years later, whatever, you're in a situation where you have provoked potentially a massive geopolitical conflict, a massive war. I mean, it already is. Ukraine, millions have died. And this is another thing that I'll touch on. The death numbers that we get all the time for these things. I went on due dissidence and because I don't want someone to take what I say and then like pull up a statistic next to it and go, look how stupid and wrong he is. Look how much of an idiot he is on this. So I always try to use a conservative estimate, a number which is like it's grotesque. Like Stalin said, one death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic or something like that, right? So when it comes to stuff like this, the smaller number, they try to make the smaller number sound good. Like they say, oh, it's under 100,000 or whatever killed in Gaza. And I've seen recent estimates. Chas Freeman, former U.S. ambassador to the UN, I believe, he estimates it at well over 500,000. And I find him to be very credible. If you ask me, and I would look into his research and watch him on Dialogue Works or Glenn Deason. But you look at these numbers, and then people try to argue with you or haggle with you. So I always try to go low. I feel bad about that because like we all got to admit that it's much higher. Like 1 million plus Ukrainians have died. And everyone be like, he's wrong, he's stupid, he doesn't know what he is. Putin propaganda. Give it 5 years, bitch. Seriously, give it 5 years. Just wait a little while. Just give it 5 years, and then I'll be proven right about everything. So, like when it comes to these, and I don't want to be proven right. It's horrible to be proven right, but ultimately, it's better than the government's lying to us about these wars because they want to make it seem like, oh, it's just you got the high tech people out there, you got the commando with the gun, and that's war. That's what it is. That's not what war is. War is a burning farm. War is a dead father, a dead mother, a dead child, and one person left in the house. A war is a graveyard that is ever expanding, ever encroaching from both directions, from left and right and north and south. That's what a war is. A war is an explosion, burning people, burning bodies, burning everything until there's nothing left. And then people get to come in and they get to rebuild and they get to make money off that. People get to come in and sell the weapons to do it and they get to make money off of that. People get to talk about how great they were for doing it 20 years after it happened when they do that. That's what war is. But these people, like, and I've played the clips ad nauseum, especially of Mark Rutte and Ursula von der Leyen. Maybe I'll find them to pull up, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. And it's like, yeah, like we're ready for war. We're ready for a World War II level event. Like, let's get it on. Let's go. And ultimately, you look at it and you look at Europe and you're like, these people have kings. And you look at our government and how controlled and messed up it is. I would say they're even worse. What agency do you have? Ursula von der Leyen's unelected, saying to get ready for World War II. And everyone was, oh, it's fine. It is what it is. I don't know. It is fine. I live in Luxembourg and I have no problem yet. You're going to have a problem. You have a big problem. I'll read some comments. Yep. Let's go, Rex. They destroyed the future generation. Yeah. I mean, like Russia's mission, sadly, in the war is to destroy Ukraine's sperm bank, right? Because like that's what they have to do. They want to make it so they can never have a standing army again. And that makes sense from their perspective. But imagine the tragedy of forcing, like they really are, like Ukraine means borderlands is what it means. Like it used to be a part of Russia at the end of the day, back thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. That's where it was even founded. So imagine Orthodox Christian young men killing Orthodox Christian young men. And in Ukraine, you have a state scripted and press ganged and thrown into vans. The average age of a soldier is late 40s, early 50s. They canceled and that's not even the right word. It's not strong enough. They prosecuted and abolished the Orthodox Church in Ukraine and set up a fake church, a government-run church. And that's just like, that's textbook us. That's textbook CIA. That's exactly what we do. That's what we did in the Middle East, inventing, really the Salafi brand of Islam, which is what the jihadis tend to practice. So it's extremely, extremely, extremely sick. And this should just be common knowledge. People should just know about this and talk about this. And I finally get like where my dad was as a kid with me, because like, or just with everybody, right? Because all he would ever want to talk about is this stuff and politics and the news and the world and the control grid and how crazy it all is. And I reached that point too, where it's like, are we having like a nothing conversation right now? Like only thing, I'll even talk about UFC for a while. I'll be like, man, like this is stupid. Like I just watch them talk about how they want to take over the world. So then it makes me want to stream more, which is why I'm doing more shows for you guys. I appreciate the outlet and I appreciate the audience. Thank you all for being here right now. What's up, Rudy? How are you doing? Thank you for reposting the stream. If you repost the stream, I'll love you forever. Seriously. Very funny, guys. Very funny. Nobody remembers the actual start of Ukraine. Very, very true. Ukraine or Greenland over Ukraine. I mean, that would have been a much better use of resources. Still wouldn't agree with it, but I mean, yeah. Let's go. How much you know about subversion? I don't know. Tell me more. Yay. World War IV will be with sticks and stones because World War III will be horrendous. That's Albert Einstein, right? Thank you for reposting the stream. If you repost the stream, I love you forever. Seriously. Seriously. Sorry about going live late. Sorry about messing it up. I appreciate all of y'all with me here tonight. We got a lot to cover, a lot to get into. So we're going to have fun with it, and I'll get the next thing ready. Lime in the coconut. So we'll go ahead and get into the Trump speech now, but Kim.com, excellent breakdown from Kim.com. Watch Trump's speech in Davos. $20 billion per day to run the U.S. government. I didn't know that. Can you believe how crazy that is? And that's not even real money. You could build a Pacific Rim robot with that money. 39.6 trillion national debt. 106 trillion U.S. total debt. What? 106 trillion? Aren't all our resources together worth like 100? What? I didn't know about that. Is that real? A con man saying everything is fine. We're the hottest country. We subsidize the world. We did it all. We did it all for everybody. But we'll go ahead and get into Trump. So the way I have it is, it was hard for me because like the full speech is like an hour long. And I don't want to do that because it's just him talking about how he's the greatest, but there are key moments in it. And there's also Pigman Lutnick speaking. So I do want to cover that as well. But sorry for the slop here, but let's just watch what he says and ignore the slop.
With that, I don't know, it was so, because she was so aggressive. And I realized in that conversation that the United States is keeping the whole world afloat. Many places
I would argue we're making the whole world burn down by continuing to support these warmongers. Like supporting the European warmongers is not helping the planet. It's trying to destroy the earth. Like seriously. And yeah, guys, smash the like button.
give you 6, 7 places just in the people in this little area. No,
I mean, he can't make this stuff up. 6, 7.
every one of them, they're looking down. They don't want to see me, and they don't want to stare me in the eyes. But they're taking advantage of. Everybody took advantage of the United States. But I've been very fair, and I gave them a tariff, and it was fine. But I realized that without us, it's not Switzerland anymore. Without us, it's not any of the countries that are represented here. And we want to work with the countries. We want to work with them. We're not looking to destroy them. With that, I don't know, it was so, because she was.
I mean, do any of us really care at this point? Like what he says, like the Chud accounts. And I mean, if you look at the caption on this, I mean, like good grief. Like, give me 1 second. Look at the caption on this. Holy smokes! President Trump is pointing out like this is how milquetoast everything is now. Like this is the guy we thought was going to bust all the PDF files. This is the guy we thought was going to end all the wars. This is the guy we thought was going to fix America. But he's pointing things out, and we're supposed to be excited about that. The globalist taking advantage of America in Davos and said they are refusing to look him in the eye. He doesn't specify anybody. He just makes it's just like, it's not even a cool line. It's just him yapping. 6, 7 places, just like the people in this arena. I know them. They're looking down. They don't want to see me and stare me in the eyes. They're taking advantage of the United States. Say that about Bibi. Like, will you ever say that about Bibi Netanyahu? Is that ever going to happen? No, I think not. So like, oh, I'm calling them out. I'm calling them out. Yeah, but there's this one person you won't fight. It's like in the UFC, like a lot of the times, like there's a guy who wants to like fight everybody. But there's one guy in the division he really doesn't want to fight, and they get matched up with each other, and then like the guy will cancel and like quit essentially and like not do the bout. So I mean that's basically what this is like Trump's happy to like beat up on the like anemic kids on the playground, which is what like Europe is, but like Israel is the tail wagging the dog. It's what's in charge. It's the master. That's never to be criticized. ever. You can't do it. I'm not criticizing here. I'm just saying that's what it is, right? That's the law. So like it or not, I played the video of those pigs showing up to that woman's house, because of her tweet. I need to play that for Tim. Tim needs to see that tomorrow. I'll include that in the news blitz. But best president ever. Where Epstein file at? Where the end of the Ukraine war at? Where are the end of the dead Palestinians at? Where's the where's the taxation stopping? Where's that happening? Oh, the tariffs are based. We have to punish other countries. We need to have what is the term? It's so stupid. It's we need to have like you need to be a net importer of American goods. Like you can't be a net exporter of your own. So like a poor country in South America, they have to buy more American products than they ship out. And it's just people are like, it's brilliant strategy. You don't understand. Putting a 500% tariff on something's incredible. No one's ever been brave enough to do this before. And like, I'm just like we pay that. Like they're just not gonna be able to sell as much of the product because it's gonna be more expensive. It's ultimately people buying it that still have to pay the expensive price. So like all of it. And I thought I was pro tariff until I understood what a tariff was. And it's a stupid tax, and it's a tax on me because I was stupid and I supported it. And I've seen a lot of economists talk about this at this point, and now I realize how bad of a policy it truly is. And it's not even that the tariff itself is a bad policy, as in like if you were going to put like a 5 or 10% tariff on somebody, and you noticed when he puts a smaller tariff percentage amount on, he's more serious. But take like the Chinese example or whatever, we put like 100% or 500% tariffs on something. He then 6 months later reneges on that and goes, it was, we're going to get a better deal. We're going to get I found a way to figure it out. It's actually a huge win. And it's just him going back to the first thing that was already in place. But it's the best thing anyone's ever seen. And it's always with Trump. Everything's the best. Everything's the most incredible. Everything's the most fantastic. I'm sick of this, man. Like this has gotten old. This has gotten old really, really, really fast. It's because you haven't done shit, Donald. You haven't done anything we've asked you to. You haven't done anything you promised to do. And you're at the World Economic Forum, and it's like, he's there to talk tough and show him what is his house. He flew in like a gangster. That's what Steve Bannon said. And like, Bannon, that's retarded. Bannon, that's really, really, really dumb. But I guess it appeals to the base because, he was up on the stage and he called them out. He said what's what. He didn't mention any names, but he said what's what. Ultimately, he's there to talk to people. And that's not the main function of the event, is to speak. He's meeting with all the globalists. It's just like when he had Bill Gates at the White House. How do you turn that into a victory? How does that happen? How do you turn Bill Gates at the White House meeting with Trump into a victory? Somehow, like Rumpelstiltskin, these MAGA influencers are able to spin straw into gold. And it really does boggle my mind. Let me see if I can find more from Trump here. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is another good one. I'll pause it here so I can go back to it. All right, this is funny, okay? Like I don't like the guy anymore. Like, he pisses me off, to be honest. But like he is a comedian.
And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now, you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland.
Okay, that's funny. I'm going to go back to me. I got another comment from Brandon Bragg. Come on, bro. Give him some credit. He has done some good things. Let's see what those good things are. Taking men out of women's sports. RFK was a golden appointment. Oh, well, like have the vaccination stopped? Is the mRNA shot still being given to people? Oh, it's not being given to the pregnant woman. Oh, it's still being given to everyone. The child vaccine schedule is still insane. It's still crazy. Raw milk, raw milk, raw milk. I mean, that's not why I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump to stop the wars because that's what he promised he would do before he was even in office. Are you someone that votes on things based off of based? Or are you someone that considers actual real policy? Because he promised real policy. He promised to end it. And I believe, and a lot of people believe, a lot of people were optimistic that he was the one person in the world that might be able to get it done. And not even addressing the Israel genocide, just talking about Ukraine here, it shouldn't have been as hard to ask. It shouldn't be a hard ask to say, hey, just stop. Just tell Elon Musk to take the damn Starlink out of the sky. But they're going to take over Ukraine. They'll take over Europe. You are retarded if you believe that. Not trying to insult you, Brandon. Just it makes me mad. it makes me mad because this is like I've had these conversations with people and they go, he ended the transgender sport. And it's like, who cares? Who cares? Meat is now $11 a pound when I buy it. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Oh, he can't do anything about that. He can control inflation. One big, beautiful bill, trillion, new defense budget, 1.5 trillion. Come on. Enough. Stop it with the bombing. Stop it with the war. Stop it with this sick shit that we pay for. And it's like, oh, well, he ended the guy competing and picking up the dumbbell because the girl couldn't pick up as heavy of a dumbbell. I mean, who gives a shit? Seriously. Who cares? Who cares about any of this stuff? I'm mad about Bill Gates at the White House. I'm mad about Fauci out walking the street. Oh, he's got a pardon, whatever. Okay, arrest everyone else involved. Oh, none of that. We have the head of Pfizer, Friedrich Bordla, or whatever his name is, come to the White House and talk to us about how great mRNA is. It's a victory for Trump. It's another win for Donald Trump. And it's just like, here's the thing. I make fun of that, and I shouldn't make fun of that. I shouldn't get as angry as I do, because I was once like that. And maybe not to that extent entirely. Like, I was a true believer in the sense that I thought he actually wanted to end the wars, but I did really look up to the guy and think that he was a good person trying to do good things. I now think he's just a person trying to do things. So maybe we can make that distinction. Sorry to crash out. Apologies. I did not mean to crash out. It is what it is. Well, I have my daughters and I don't want them in my daughter's sports. I agree. I agree. But ultimately, I don't want sisters. I don't want your daughters. I don't want anyone's family to die in a nuclear war. And we're closer to that than we ever have been. Like, one of these days, one of these drone swarms they sent into Ukraine, or not into Ukraine, into Russia, like the one they just sent at Putin's house, one of these days, things are going to change. And there's going to be a war in Taiwan. There's going to be a war in Europe. There's going to be a war everywhere, and there'll be wars we instigated. So, like, I think more about that. I think also more about the inflation. So, and that's another thing. And it's like, I won't even pin that on Trump necessarily. It's a problem with all of it. It's just a problem with our system and our currency. And that's why I played that Larry Fink video of him talking about the CBDC and the new digital currency that's going to be the thing of the future or whatever. It's not sustainable, even if the number is 2% or whatever, or 3% for inflation to be there. Like, you can't, I forget the last time we had deflation. We did have it at some point. But like, this system currently cannot exist. And instead of trying to build an alternative to that system where, in fact, we cooperate with the other nation, this is the point I was trying to make. Trump is the guy that came in under the auspices of, I am the businessman. I am the great deal maker, art of the deal. I will work all these things out with people. I am the only one that can do it. Trust me. And even if you look at him as hokey and a real estate guy, like, hey, maybe he, like, you can kind of like, if you're like fake it till you make it, you're kind of unaware. You just kind of like walk through a dark forest. You're like, oh, I don't know what it is. And all the monsters are just kind of looking at you like, what? What's going on? And we kind of thought that's what Trump was. Like, he'd be able to get these things done. But instead of doing that, instead of embracing being a peacemaker and being someone that could have brought the world together with trade deals with Russia and also with China, why not? Why not? And it was like, he supports the communist Chinese. Why not? Oh, like, why can't we just make deals with people instead of going to war with them? Why do we have to do this? Why? Ultimately, unless you're in your 20s, I don't want to fucking hear about it because you're not going to get drafted. Or if you're in the military. Well, like, these people that are like over the age of 35 and like want the country to go to war, honestly, fuck you. Like seriously, that's a real FU. Because like you're not going to be like, when was the last time the draft happened? That's not going to happen. There's a proxy war, kid. You don't understand. I got an Uber ride like 6 months ago. And it's actually, I think, when I met Tim. I got in the Uber, and it's an old guy with a radio voice. I'm like, you got a cool radio voice. Start talking politics. Did you vote for Trump? Yeah, I voted for Trump. And he thinks it's kind of cool to talk about his politics now. And then he goes, well, you'd go fight, and he didn't say die, but it's implied, well, you'd go fight for Israel, wouldn't you? You'd go fight for Israel. You'd go fight to defend Taiwan, wouldn't you? And it's like, you are 70 years old. You have a big gulp in your car. You are 350 pounds, sir. Fuck you. From the bottom of my heart, F you. And that's not a nice thing to say. Lord have mercy. That's not a Christian thing to say. I need to stop doing that. But seriously, like, these people want us dead. And they don't even want us dead out of like a malevolent emotion. They want us dead kind of out of a bored negligence. Like they just don't care because they're not going to be involved. And it's like, it's enough. Like we will not suffer this. I mean, like this guy's 79. Like how about we stop with the octogenarian presidents, huh? How about we put an end to this? Like this is enough. Like why can't it be a guy that's like in his 40s or 50s? Good grief. Why does it have to be someone that like my grandparents have trouble, you know, like with sleep and whatnot? Like this guy, he's awake 20 hours a day making the worst decisions possible. And he's 79. He thinks that he's Jesus. But that's my take. I'll stop crashing out. I'll stop crashing out. And well, I guess I wanted to show more propaganda. Okay, so this is him arriving at Davos. Okay, we can. Oh yeah, we're gonna chud out. Hell yeah, we're gonna chud out. Oh, you ready to chud? I'm ready to chud.
If you're a globalist, you just think that Trump flew into Davos and went full gangster. If you're a nationalist, it's the greatest speech since Pericles at Athens. There's no middle ground here. And now President Trump says, yes, we're going to work together, et cetera. But perspective of working from a nationalist perspective of working within a community of nations. If you're a globalist, you just think.
Yeah, he rolled up on him. He rolled up on him and he didn't do anything. Trump is like the nothing ever happens chud jack. He just doesn't do anything. But everything is the most hype thing ever. Everything's the most incredible. President Trump blasts stupid people. Reading it is making me dumber. Backing wind energy at Davos. China is smart to make wind, sell them for a fortune, and sell them to the stupid people that buy them. Absolute savage. We'll play this. Go ahead and do the News Blitz show.
Windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses, and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills, and yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear windmills all over Europe.
I may have to go turn the AC down or open a window or something. It's so hot in here. It's like 70, 78 degrees in this room right now. Oh, man. I'm wearing like pants and stuff. Okay. On to the next slide. So Ezra Levant, someone I criticized very heavily because I was very upset with his appearance on InfoWars and the things he said and the justifications he made for the genocide occurring in Palestine. But he does really good reporting. He was there on the ground. He covered a lot of different people. He asked a lot of different people very inflammatory questions. He did a good job. This is what news is supposed to be. Caught him. Rebel News pummels Trudeau with questions at World Economic Forum. After years of avoiding accountability in Canada, Rebel News' questions on the streets of Davos at the World Economic Forum. It was at the moment we were waiting for one of the most hated men in Canada going for a leisurely stroll because he assumed he was amongst friends. After all, Justin Trudeau was at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He was amongst fellow globalists and socialists, right? Well, he didn't count on Rebel News and our accountability, blah, blah, blah. Good grief. Okay. All right. We're just going to watch it. It's like, who wants to read all that? I don't.
Mr. Trudeau, what are you doing here at Davos? How come you never comment? This is the spirit of dialogue. It's the name of the conference. How come you won't dialogue, Prime Minister?
You're not getting into the spirit of dialogue here.
Look at that. Who paid for you to come here? Was it taxpayers? What do you make of the Federal Court of Appeal upholding the ruling that your martial law was illegal? They said you violated.
It's good to see you, Ezra. It's been a long time. How you been? How you been keeping?
Pretty well, but you didn't speak to me.
I'm worried about you.
I don't think you have.
You stopped speaking to me after the boxing match. I never heard from you again.
That's not true. Every time we tried to come into contact with you, you had us arrested.
I never had you arrested.
You beat up my colleague David Menzies. Your bodyguards did. Your personal bodyguards beat up David Menzies.
RCMP, the official police of Canada that you're speaking against?
Yeah.
Well,
I think you're
not going to trust our institutions, Ezra. There's a problem there.
I think our institutions.
If you're not going to trust our institutions, there's a problem there. No, and this is how they think of all of us. These are their institutions, our institutions. And if you don't trust it, there's a problem. You know, so welcome to 1984, guys. And it's the same here in the States, man. It's the same exact thing in the States, only we have a few vestigial rights that will soon be done away with.
Have been weakened by you, to be quite candid.
That is your right to believe that and to feel that. And that's certainly something that you've continued to spread. People not trusting our institutions.
Oh, it is Katy Perry. That rules. Man. You know, Shotty kind of upset right now. Her boy over here, he kind of getting like, look, they do the thing where like you draw the line through the person and like whoever has like the straighter line is more alpha. Notice that. And then we got this over here. And she's like, oh, it's so beta. This is the alpha. She's going to leave him for him. It's going to happen. Trust me.
Certain skepticism is important, but spreading of misinformation and disinformation is just irresponsible. And I think you know that, Ezra. But
I didn't even realize it was her. It's so funny, man. Look at like she's like a robot. She's like must walk, must ignore. Pop star brain cannot handle actual political conversation.
You know, you've got a good little gig coming on. You've paid for all these people to come to Davos. You know, I encourage you to continue to ask questions and challenge people, but to try and do it in a way that is grounded in facts and reality.
You've introduced more censorship.
Dude, he's such a prick. He's such a passive-aggressive prick. I wonder if he is actually the son of Fidel Castro. A lot of people say this as it's legitimate. I don't know if it's a joke or if it's real. Oh, man, it's too good.
Very much.
A conversation is not you lecturing me. A conversation is a back and forth, not you just lecturing people. You misunderstood.
Your time lecturing and haranguing people and creating outrage. There's no need to...
you introduce more censorship bills than any other kind of bill. You don't believe in free speech. C-63 and all your other bills are about squelching people who you disagree with.
As you continue to make your points, and you're more than welcome to. So,
well, so far, but not if you get your way.
Ezra, I think you know that.
I feel like you owe the Canadians an apology for...
Have a good day, sir.
You feel like you owe the world an apology for your behavior during COVID?
Have a good day, sir.
Is it bizarre not being able
to me? Please don't knock into me. I appreciate the respect.
Well, your security was just pushing us around before.
Of course.
He still gives selfies. You got to hand him that. He won't talk to reporters, but he'll do a selfie.
I just spoke.
And that's what it all comes down to. These people see themselves as your gods. They see themselves as your gods, but not any popular system. They see themselves as your gods just through nature of their position. They were able to climb the bureaucracy or get appointed to some position or, win an election somehow. I wonder how that happens. I wonder how Justin Trudeau got in office. But, he's a happy, friendly guy and he looks good. So he gets to rule everybody. And if you're not okay with it, well, it's just like you say, it's okay for now. But if these bills go through, it puts you in jail.
You for 5 minutes. You spoke at me for 5 minutes. You didn't answer any questions. You spoke at me, which is your style, isn't it? You don't do well with dissent. Are you going into any meetings here?
Davos is about meetings. Davos is about connecting with people and talking about how we can continue to put people's success at the center of everything we do.
Are you going to meet up with Mark Carney when he arrives?
I have Always happy to speak with any leaders, including my friend.
And how do you think he's doing?
I think he's doing great.
Are you worried about the rift with the United States?
I think everyone is worried about an increasing polarization.
Did Katy Perry run off? I guess she did run off. She ran away.
Around the world.
Do you feel that his visit to China was successful?
I think there's a lot of work to do around the world, but it's good that we continue to engage with friends, allies, and potential just around the world.
How do you feel?
I will say he's a damn professional. That Justin Trudeau is a damn professional. He does his job. He knows his script. He doesn't even read it well. He knows it by heart well. So that's what it takes. You want to make the big bucks. You want to get involved with the global elites. You got to be a good puppet, a great puppet like that. I mean, holy hell. I mean, he's a pro. He's a pro. Wow.
Feel about the looming referendum for separatism in Alberta? Have you followed the separatist movement in Alberta?
Very familiar with all the various challenges in Canada, and will continue to trust Canadians' thoughtfulness and unity.
Would you be part of a no campaign on that? Would you weigh in on that campaign?
All right, and that's just the beginning. Got a bunch more of those for y'all tonight. This was good. Like I saw him on the show today, and I was like, damn, like, this is actually really good work. And I criticized the guy heavily. I really think his Israel-Palestine position is disgusting, but this is a good job.
Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies? BlackRock really is the opposite of Donald Trump in so many ways. You're authoritarian, you're anti-populist, you're top-down. Are you going to change it all in light of the U.S. presidency? How is Donald Trump, have you talked to Donald Trump since he was elected? Is the World Economic Forum a counterpoint to Donald Trump? Why are you running away from simple questions? Just answer a question. Have you talked to President Trump yet? Why are your bodyguards pushing away journalists, Mr. Fink?
They're simple questions. Is it that hard to answer a question that you need bodyguards and to swerve through traffic? Is the next 4 years going to be bad for business with Donald Trump in charge? Is peace the last thing you want on this world?
Which makes more money for you, war in Ukraine or peace in Ukraine? Ezra Levant's my name, Mr. Fink.
Did you just take a photo of you?
Am I supposed to be scared? Is that a threat, Mr. Fink?
Are you used to bullying your way through life?
No.
What? Is that how you've lived your entire life without having... Look at this. Don't push back, mate. Don't push me, bro. Don't push me.
When was the last time you answered a question that you didn't know was coming? Why are you so unaccountable? Isn't that what you love about the World Economic Forum? You control everything.
Why do you think you deserve so much power? Hey, Avi Yemeni, should I be scared now?
Which of your former directors do you want to run Canada? Mark Carney or Chrystia Freeland?
Push me, bro. What? What are you getting violent for, man? I could push just like you can, man. Look at these thugs. They fund wars around the world, and then you question them. They try not only to intimidate you, but physically assault you.
What's with taking photos of journalists who ask you prickly questions?
Who's more powerful, you or President Trump? Why do you think you're so disliked around the world?
Why are so many U.S. states divesting from your ESG schemes? Why are you putting your
He's got a lot better security than Trudeau. I was shocked they let people get behind Trudeau. That's pretty crazy. But these guys are not playing any games. This guy's covering over here, and this guy's covering over here, and they're not letting him get behind it. Like, so, I mean, technically, not calling for anything, just like saying a reality of life, from just like political assassination or whatever. Like something could happen, you know. So they're running their game.
Ideology ahead of your investors with ESG, Mr. Fink. Isn't that being disloyal to shareholders, putting your ideology ahead of rate of return? Why do you think you're above accountability? Is it because you're rich?
I just feel like walking with him now because his big, scary bodyguards. And I don't know, Ezra, I just want to make it clear I will not kill myself.
I have no suicidal thoughts either. Mr. Fink's taking pictures of me and Abiy Yemini. I think that's meant to intimidate. It's a little weird, though. It feels a little thin-skinned. Do you think you're above questions? Like, why don't you even answer? Surely you have the answers. Why do you think BlackRock has become so hated, one of the world's most reviled brands? Do you take any responsibility for that? Who do you feel accountable to? It's obviously not shareholders. Do you have a God complex?
Was Biden the best thing for you? And did you fail by not being able to get another Democrat president?
Why don't you run for public office and test the support for your ideological ideas?
And remember, this is the guy that we just played. This is the guy that just went over to Ukraine with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and talked to Zelensky and carved up the corpse, essentially, and is going to go in there and rebuild it all for God knows how many billions of dollars. And this is also the guy that can't even talk on a stage. And I'm not making fun of anyone with a stutter. I had a stutter growing up. Well, guess what? You can unlearn it. You can learn how to talk properly. It takes a lot of practice. So when you're the guy that's worth all the money in the world and you're influencing everything behind the scenes, show your face. And I guess he does it here. I guess he goes and gives, I guess he gives a little speech like that or whatever. But I mean, like, these people, these elites are not impressive. They're not. They're really not. The common man is much more impressive than a so-called elite.
Is this the most uncomfortable you've ever felt? Do you think this is okay? You're a security guard, a thug. You sure? Obviously you do. You took my photo because you're hoping he'll catch up with me later. Is that supposed to scare me?
Have your bodyguards learned from you to disrespect the little people? Is that how you feel about the little people, Mr. Fink?
Are you not worried because you own the local police?
What politicians have you had meetings with, or is that a secret? Why don't you publish your itinerary? Is it because you're doing lobbying or being lobbied?
Do you think this makes BlackRock look better or worse? The fact that you've got hired thugs pushing journalists into cars, into buildings. Is that just typical? Is that the way you do business?
Doesn't it look a little bit weird that someone as rich, powerful, and smart as you can't answer any questions? Or is it that you just think you're above questions?
That's karma. Your security guard called that karma. Is that how you feel?
The security guard, the dumb idiot who's protecting the person, he's probably not a dumb idiot. He's probably very proficient at killing people or skills of violence and all that. But he goes karma. It says it's karma when the guy falls down. And he's like literally protecting probably one of the most, if not the most evil man on earth. But see, like, this is how you can get when you're compartmentalized, right? And like, this is how the public is as well. It's like, we all know vaguely that these people exist, but do we care they exist? Do we want to tear down their power? No. We just, it is what it is. There are rulers, there are gods. We accept that. I don't accept it.
What's the end game for you? You're rich, you're powerful. What's next for you? Do you want to run for president one day? Or you have
I understand that, Moshmiri. I'm not trying to be insensitive towards people that have a speech impediment, because I legitimately, like, I used to not be able to say like S or T, and it took me years. You can work on your speech a lot. Like I like the example of that. It's who I looked up to as a kid a lot. Is that Scatman guy? The guy, it's got to be blah, 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 whatever. I can't do it, but like that guy really inspired me to quote unquote fix my stuff. But I understand. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Really not.
bigger goals. Don't push me on the ice. You don't want a lawsuit now, do you?
Do you think there's no point in running for office because you can control them? You can control both sides from outside. Why are you pushing ladies? Mate, where are you from? Why are you such a thug? What are you so angry about in life? Did somebody hurt you as a kid?
What a great question. What a phenomenal question. That's good reporting right there. I like to see that, because like, is it true? Is this why you're such a psychopathic murderer that wants to take away everyone's rights and freedoms through your global corporations' actions to deprive people of their agency to things they should own? Is it because someone hurt you? Probably so. And like that's good. Like aboard the Israel views from Rebel News or whatever from Ezra, but I mean that's damn good. Good job. Very good job.
Who are we going to meet tonight for dinner?
Run away. Run away.
Where you go? Well, I reckon that pretty much demonstrates exactly what BlackRock is about.
That weird move. I mean, he's got two bodyguards who are really handsy. There was no punches, but there was lots of pushing. The move by Fink himself to take photos of us, that's weird.
Weird.
I'm not suicidal.
Definitely not suicidal. I feel like let's walk the other way.
Okay, you know what? I sense genuine bravery from him. I hate his Palestine position. I really do. But you know what, man? Kudos. Like I do have to show some respect.
You know, normally masters of the universe don't tread on the ground like us commoners. They have vehicles drive them around Davos. But he made the mistake of walking down the street, and I think that's the first time he's been asked unscripted questions ever.
And how angry did he get? First trying to whiz through traffic, which was everything about his behavior was so bizarre. The only thing that seemed to actually come really natural to him was having people do his dirty work.
Yeah. You know, there's some very, very important people at Davos. I mean, John Kerry is an example. I bumped into Tony Blair last year. There are some very powerful people. At most, they have sort of one assistant. There's no need for bodyguards in this town. There's armed Swiss security everywhere. But to have two thugs to push and shove, I think that shows the mindset of Larry Fink himself. And taking pictures of us, I'm happy to tell him my name. My name is Ezra Levant, and I ask questions about BlackRock.
And I'm Avi Yamini, and I'll also ask questions no matter who you have near you. And it's exactly why we're here. WEF reports.
Quality stuff. I really respect that. That's not an easy thing to do, to go and stare into the maw of these people, because I always like I talk about these people all the time. Everyone talks about these people into a camera all the time to their audience. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to go and speak in their face. And like my dad did stuff like that at Bilderberg, Bohemian Grove being an example. That's more infiltration type thing and going and seeing what's going on there. But like this is good work. So objectively, kudos. So this is another story with Ezra. So I don't know a lot about this lady. If we got someone in the comments that wants to type a good description because they know, they can. I'll throw it up on screen. She embezzled or stole or helped steal like hundreds of millions worth of dollars, basically. And she's the disgraced former MP and cabinet minister. I think she saw me first, Ezra Levant, and tried to hide from my sight. So I decided to ask her some questions. Now, if I had been in Canada, she would have had me arrested. That's what she did to our reporter, David Menzies. Of course, she had no compunction about seizing bank accounts from hundreds of her political enemies during the trucker protest. Don't forget what they've done to you. Don't forget. These are not friendly people. These are our enemies. In fact, that's something I asked her about because 3 judges in federal court. It will not surprise you to learn that she's absolutely unrepentant, even though 4 judges have called her a lawbreaker. I also asked her about accepting a job working for. It's when I see certain words like Ukraine or Israel, and I really, really, I'm like, wow. I also asked her about accepting a job. Oh, you gonna work for Zelensky now? Zelensky's got a bunch of shoes that he needs shined, and we'll pay you about, $30 million a year to shine the shoes, cook the books, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. While also working for the Canadian government. Isn't that obvious conflict of interest? Of course. Needless to say, she was absolutely vicious. I can't wait to see it. Saying that anyone who would dare question her must be working for Vladimir Putin. And this is why I crashed out kind of near the beginning of the broadcast, or I guess, like 45 minutes in. Everything is Putin, Russian agent. Putin is new Hitler. Putin wants to take all of Europe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you oppose our outwardly facing imperialist globalist agenda, you are therefore a Nazi. These people, like this lady, might as well be heiling Hitler. Like, she might as well be doing that in your face and going, you're a Nazi. You may know that a week ago we sent a letter to, I don't know anything about it, whatever. All right, he filed an ethics complaint. It's a very Canadian thing or European thing to do, whatever. We'll watch the video now.
You disclose your job offer from Ukraine to the Conflict of Ethics Commissioner within 7 days as required.
Hi, nice to see you. I disclosed it to the Ethics Commissioner immediately.
Are you sure about that? Because you didn't tell the Prime Minister for 2 days.
I told the Prime Minister as soon as I spoke to him, as soon as I could speak to him.
Why did you keep it secret from the public, though, until the President of Ukraine tweeted it out?
It wasn't finalized.
Are you sure it wasn't because you guys were shipping $2.5 billion out and it would be odd to have you on both sides of the deal?
That was a decision of the Prime Minister. And let me just say, I think Canada should be proud to support.
America is so cool. I got to say this. I'm sorry. I criticize the country a lot. I hate our government. I love the country. America rules. We are number one. Canada, distant, like number like 14 or something, or like 28 or like 83, whatever. America forever.
Ukraine. And
but I don't think that's the question. You were on both sides of the deal was the question.
I wasn't on both sides of the deal. I actually wasn't at that meeting with the Prime Minister. But in any event, let me be very clear. Ukraine is fighting for Canada's security and for Canada's democracy.
But that doesn't, no one's disagreeing with that. In our conversation.
Let me finish, please. I answered your questions very clearly.
Go ahead.
Ukraine is fighting for Canada. Ukraine is fighting for democracy in Ukraine and in the world.
What a fucking joke. Zelensky has the country under martial law and he suspended elections. Oh, we do it to protect the people of Ukraine. Putin will interfere in election, and that's why I need nuclear weapon to make sure he never interfere with any election ever again. I mean, seriously, these people, man, they're guilty of everything they accuse other people of. They're hypocrites at the end of the day. God hates hypocrites and God hates liars. So, wow. It makes me so angry, and I want to regurgitate and go over all of it. If you were watching prior in the stream, you saw me go over my stance on the Ukraine war. You know, I'll just do it again. It's good to practice things, and we'll go back to this. It's good to practice things. So, March 2022, a month after the war, Russian invasion, whatever you want to call it, into the Donbass happens, Zelensky flies to Turkey. Zelensky meets with the Russian delegation. There are three points to the peace plan. Number one, no NATO. Number two, they get to keep Crimea. Number three, Donbass independent states have a referendum, get to vote on what they want. Now, the problem in Ukraine and why the Russians came in, oh, they want to take the whole thing for no reason. They want to do it. They want to take it over, all of it. The reasons why the Russians came in were because the eastern part of Ukraine is primarily of Russian ethnicity, Russian descent directly, and they speak the Russian language. And those people are being deprived their rights of going to court, going to school, any official documentation, being oppressed by the state, and being bombed and attacked from Kiev for the better part of a decade. And then finally, after 2014, when this starts, after the Maidan coup, when those people really start getting oppressed, Putin comes in. War starts, whatever you want to say. Zelensky flies to Turkey, peace agreement's on the table. He's about to sign it and agree to it. Boris Johnson, fat bastard from Austin Powers, flies over from the UK to Ukraine and says, we're going to back you. We're going to do everything we can. NATO will be right for you. And a massive, massive, almost 4-year-long bloodbath. But we do it for democracy. It's for democracy. We have to fight the Russians. It's Putin. You're a Putin apologist. You're a Putin liar. And, it's important for our country, to take care of our people and make sure our people get to live in a free, liberal democracy. And I don't know enough of the corporate language to speak it to sound like them, but it's literally word salad. Like there's not a shred of evidence or fact in there. It's all claim and it's all BS. And it's all the stuff that they're doing because they are the hypocrites. But I'll get back to the thing. I have to practice that because I don't know who's joining me, and I always want to go over it because people are like, "Oh, you like Ukraine? You like Russia? What are you, a Putin guy?" And it's like, honestly, fuck you. Like, that's my oldest political hate is the Russia stuff.
Benefit from supporting Ukraine. I'm proud of the support that Canada has given, and I've been very, very proud.
But you have to be. You have to follow the law.
No, hang on.
You have to follow the law.
Oh, I followed the law 100%. I followed the law 100%. And let me just be clear. Your questions are about casting doubt on support for Ukraine.
No, it's about casting doubt on your ethics.
Are we not allowed to cast doubt? That is that a crime? Is that illegal now? I'm sure under Bill C-13 or whatever it's called. I'm sure it is, and we'll review that. Maybe we'll do a deep dive on that. Maybe I'll do one either on Thursday or Friday. It makes my blood boil, man. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry because she's proud. She's proud of it. She's proud of the system she's a part of and built and created. She loves it.
No, your questions are about casting doubt on support for Ukraine.
You're trying to misdirect. You're trying to misdirect.
No. I am telling.
How can you be on both sides of the deal?
You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I'm not ashamed. I'm ashamed of your misconduct.
His job for him. I have behaved ethically at every moment.
You're a double dipping. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I won't disparage women on the show. It's a rule. Got to be polite. Got to have Southern hospitality and be nice. But she's double dipping. She's working for Canada and she's working for Ukraine and she's helping in Canadian-Ukrainian negotiation. She's pocketing off it all. That's speculation. That's my claim. It's speculation.
And I'm very proud.
You were Canada's special envoy to Ukraine while you had an offer pending from Ukraine.
Your question.
You have not. You have tried to distract and misdirect.
I have not tried to distract for 1 minute.
Where are you living these days? Where's your home?
Clear.
Are you in the UK? Are you in Ukraine? Or are you in Canada?
So that is not pertinent to the question.
Well, it's an interesting question.
But my home is in Toronto. Thank you very much.
Do you still work for the Roads Trust?
I haven't started that job.
Are you going to do that job as well?
Yes. The job for Ukraine is voluntary and unpaid. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Why did you freeze bank accounts of Canadians?
Well, that's a good question that I don't think you've ever answered. The Federal Court of Appeal recently ruled 3-0 that your decision was unconstitutional. Do you regret that? You seized and froze bank accounts. The Federal Court of Appeal said that was unconstitutional. Any regrets? No regrets. Do you have an apology for the people whose bank accounts you illegally seized? Are you still happy about it?
I'm proud of standing up for Canadians.
Are you proud of breaking the law? That's the charter you broke, ma'am. That's not just any old law. 4 judges in a row have agreed you broke the law. You're a law breaker. That's weird.
First t-shirt idea, lawbreakers or lawmakers. Would y'all wear that? I might put that out. I just thought of that. That's pretty good. right? Lawbreakers or lawmakers, or lawmakers or lawbreakers. Either way you say it, it's good. And I will get to the next segment. I want to play this out.
I've answered your question.
You should be really proud. You should be really proud
and
of yourself.
I think you should be ashamed of yourself.
For what?
For doing Putin's work.
You froze Canadians' bank accounts.
You're still a lawbreaker, and you're still 4-0 judges saying you're a lawbreaker. Your legacy is a lawbreaker. Your legacy is someone who turned our banking system into a third world system, a banana republic. You have no compunction. You're fine with what you did. You don't regret it.
As I said, I've spoken to you and we're finished this.
But you haven't answered the fact that 4 judges say you broke the law. You don't think you need any public statement on that?
I've spoken at length about the issues that I need to
Not since the Court of Appeal ruled. The Court of Appeal said you're a lawbreaker. You haven't said anything since then.
That this constitutes harassment by people who are doing Putin's job for him.
You're a censor, aren't you? You would.
See, it's all Putin, 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 Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. You don't support Ukraine. You don't support democracy. Therefore, you're a Putin apologist. You're a Putin agent. You're evil. See how that's a circle? And see, we don't address any of the actual questions. We don't do that. We just yell Putin. That's all you have to do. It's like, well, like, you know, Larry, we caught you smoking weed on the break, and we're gonna have to fire you from Burger King. It's real unfortunate, man. We liked having you here, and it just we can't have that on the property, man. Putin, 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 Ukraine, 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 democracy. I'm sorry, sir. We're gonna give you a promotion. You're the manager now. Like, maybe we should all try this.
Love to take my bank account, wouldn't you?
Extremely embarrassed and ashamed of themselves.
I'm not embarrassed at all. I didn't break the law like you did.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm neither ashamed or embarrassed because I'm not a lawbreaker like you. 4 judges say you're a lawbreaker. 4 judges say you violated the Constitution. 4 judges said you illegally stole money. What are they? Are they right or wrong? What do you say to Tamara Leach? What do you say to people who are wrongfully arrested because of your illegal invocation of the martial law? Don't you care about civil liberties? The liberals used to claim they cared about civil liberties. Well, I, for one, am glad you're gone. Hopefully Canada's seen the last of you. Good work on your part.
She almost talked by us.
All right, we don't have to watch the rest of it. I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about this guy. You know, I vehemently disagree with his Israel-Palestine stance and the excuses he made for it on the broadcast, but you can't say he's not a Canadian patriot. I mean, he cares about his country, you know. So, like, kudos to him. I'm impressed by this. Like, this is... If you've never done man on the street stuff before, if you've never tried to get an interview with anyone on the street, and I've done this in DC with politicians for some of my old work, it's very, very difficult. And that is infinitely less dangerous or charged than something like this. And this is like the lion's den. This is insane. So like this impresses me and this inspires me to be an actual journalist and to do things like this in the future and to do man on the street stuff again. Very, very cool. Very cool from Ezra. Very cool. Check more of it out. Okay, we got one more. We got one more Ezra clip. Well, maybe we'll play this later. Let's do some more fun stuff. Here's a screenshot of my list of all USAID grants over the last 4 years that went to groups whose names and locations were completely redacted. They're all listed as miscellaneous foreign awardees. The final total, $4.2 billion. So we have to pretend that we have to pay taxes to a legitimate system. We have to pretend that our government is out there to help us, and primary interest of the American government is helping the American people, and every administration is going to do something better, blah, 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 blah. And did he shut down USAID? I believe he did. That's a good thing that he did, for sure. But the money's already out there. I mean, this is just the American system. So I figure we just look at this for a second, look at the $4.2 billion, and like admit that like these people rule us They own our country. They really do. So that's cool. That's interesting. Billion with a B. Yes. This is more slop, but this is kind of funny. We'll go ahead and watch this. This is The View. Pam Grier recalls her mom trying to protect her from seeing lynched bodies hanging to the trees in Columbus, Ohio. What? She noted that white families would also be lynched for supporting black families. My mom would go, "Don't look, don't look, don't look," and she would pull us away because there's someone from a tree. And they have a memorial for it now where you can see people where people were and left. And it triggers me today to see a voice that can be silenced. If a white family supported a black family, they're going to get or unalived as well. So the last lynching that occurred in Ohio was in 1911. It was in 1911. That's the last time someone got hung off racial basis. This is not the Deep South. We'll go ahead and play this. More ridiculous lies.
You faced a lot of racism growing up in Columbus, Ohio. How did that shape you?
Whew. Well, the military wouldn't allow black families to live on the base, so you had to live in an apartment, and you couldn't take a bus. You couldn't afford a car. You walked. Your dads walked to the base, and sometimes we would go from tree shade to get back to the apartment. My brother and I, my mom, with bags. And my mom would go, "Don't look, don't look, don't look." And she'd pull us away because there was someone hanging from a tree.
No, there wasn't. No, there was not someone hanging from the tree. This has been community noted. 1911. You were not alive, lady, in 1911. I'm not denying that you maybe experienced racism or segregation. I don't know how old this woman is. If she's really that old, she's aged very well. She doesn't look that old to me, but I don't know. I'm just speaking on something that I don't know about. But you certainly didn't see anybody hanging from a tree. That's a lie. So everything else you say is called into question now because you lied about that. Wow.
And they have a memorial for it now where you can see where people were and left. And it triggers me today to see.
Millions of people believe this BS. They buy it hook, line, and sinker, like the wine moms watching The View. Like, I'm gonna be an ally because of this, and it's like she's lying to your face, just like a Putin, Ukraine. It's all bullshit.
That a voice can be silenced, and if a white family supported a black, they're gonna get burned down or killed or lynched as well.
Yeah.
What a retard. What an idiot. And it's been community noted, not on this post, but it's been community noted. Last lynching in Ohio was in 1911. Netanyahu joins Trump's board of peace for Gaza reconstruction. Let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff. The board of peace. It's always got a nice name. Like we renamed the Defense Department, the War Department, and then we renamed the Genocide Department into the Board of Peace. It's a peaceful time. We all hang out together and divide up the land and bury people under concrete. It's a peaceful time for us. The Board of Peace, chaired by Trump, includes early participants like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, and the UAE, all very corrupt, extremely corrupt, with tasks centered on Gaza's governance, demilitarization, and reconstruction after a 3-month Israel-Hamas ceasefire. Netanyahu's office confirmed his involvement Wednesday, despite Israel's initial objections to troops from Turkey or Qatar on the executive committee. Reactions range from supporters viewing it as a pragmatic path to stability, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Slop from Grok. Who cares? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will skip the signing of President Donald Trump's Board of Peace in Davos after Switzerland confirmed it would enforce the ICC arrest warrant over crimes in Gaza. Let's not forget, when we speak about this guy's a wanted criminal. This guy's wanted by 2 courts. He's wanted for war crimes. But this is our strongest ally, you see. And the thing is, the thing you got to realize about America is we still do have so much outsized influence that we can prop someone like this up and make it legitimate that they appear on the world stage. This guy should be in impel down. This guy should be in prison forever for what he's done. But oh no, strongest ally. The Pope's been invited, someone representing the ancient Roman system of religion. headlines, catching up with the Bible, whatever. It's all slop. Decline the offer because of the papal office. Pope should never be even given the appearance of being in a subordinate position. Catholic shit. I don't know. Whatever. There's our president. There's BB right there. Oh, we love him, don't we? Okay, so is this it? I guess that's all we got for that one. But we got something good from Putin. Why is it? It's an Arabic caption. Come on. Okay, I don't speak Arabic. I don't read it. I don't speak Russian. I don't read Russian. Breaking: Russia will not join any so-called peace council unless the full rights of the Palestinian people are guaranteed in accordance with UN resolutions. Putin. That's a world leader. Oh, he's a dictator. You support dictator. Oh, our elections are stolen. Oh, it's like how do you hold these two beliefs together? I like him. Hell, I like Putin. I'll just say it. Breaking: Russia will not join any so-called peace council unless the full rights of the Palestinian people are guaranteed in accordance with UN regulations. See, Trump hasn't said that. Mark Rutte hasn't said that. Keir Starmer hasn't said that. Macron hasn't said that. None of these people have said that. It's only Putin. It's only Putin because he's not a genocidal warmonger at the end of the day. He's like, oh, you don't know. He's KGB. He's evil. He's part of the Soviet Union. Like, screw you. Honestly, you warmongering pig. If you hold that view, screw you. Then we got Huckletit. Mike Huckabee says Christian Zionism is something that every Christian alive today should openly embrace. It's like it's a cult. It's beyond Mormonism or even Scientology. He says there is nothing wrong with the term Zionist, saying it only represents the belief that Jews have a divine right to Israel. I consider myself to be a Christian Zionist, and of course, it's Fox News.
Well, there was a letter that was put out by the more liturgical churches, the non-evangelicals, Catholic, Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, a host. I think there's about 10 different denominations, and they said that they're the only ones who can speak for Christians in the Holy Land. I found that a little bit troubling because I'm not sure that anybody has the exclusivity to speak for all Christians in the world. And there was also a...
You're not part of any historical church, bro. You don't have any claim to it. You're not Orthodox. You're not even Roman Catholic. You're never even a part of the original church. You practice a very weird, very occult version of quote unquote the Bible, not even Christianity, where you believe the Old Testament has supremacy over everything. You misread Genesis to misinterpret Abraham's seed not being Jesus, but in fact being the country of Israel. The country of Israel. So, of course, the Orthodox and the Catholic reject your theology as dispensationalist and Schofield Bible-based and ultimately false. So, yeah, you're not a Christian. You're a Christian Zionist, as you would say. Like, you wouldn't do, I'm a Christian. I go, I'm a Christian Zionist. That's what Huckabee would say. So I don't want to make a statement about anyone's religion. Like, I shouldn't say that before God. I shouldn't claim to say if someone's a Christian or not a Christian. But he would say it himself. He would say he's a Christian Zionist.
Very, very targeted, kind of a pejorative hit at the term Christian Zionist. Bianca, I consider myself a Christian Zionist. All that means is that, yes, I'm a Christian. Everybody, I think, pretty well knows that. But to be a Zionist doesn't mean anything nefarious. It simply means that you believe that the Jewish people have a divine right and, frankly, a geopolitical right to
a divine right and a geopolitical right. Oh, but Iran is a theocracy because they have the supreme leader and they don't cover, or they cover the women up. I mean, from a secular perspective, and like this is why people on the left, the atheists and other such types, that's why they're so opposed to all of this, is because they recognize it ultimately as a theocracy. And I will say, the consistency of being taught to be like really strongly anti-colonialist in the young people in this country, especially on the left wing, it's made it so both the right wing and the left wing cannot accept this, because the left wing especially sees this as colonization, which is what it is. And like, you can't say we left that behind, we have a rules-based order, we have a better world, and then say this group of people has a divine right to this land and a geopolitical right to this land, and they must be given anything they want.
homeland that they have lived in for almost 4,000 years. And to say you're a Zionist means, do the Jewish people have a right to live in this land? I think most people would look at this if they're objective and say, well, of course they do. They've had connection here. So to say a person is a Christian Zionist, it's a Christian who respects that Jewish people should be living in the Holy Land. That's all it means. To say that it's somehow some term that ought to be fearful, or as Tucker Carlson said, it's indicative of a brain virus. There are tens of millions of evangelicals just in the United States who would be called Christian Zionists. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we celebrated this week, was a Christian Zionist. So it should not be something that is...
Excellent point about MLK there. It's true. Malcolm X, much more cool.
divisive to Christians.
There you go.
It ought to be a term that every Christian should embrace.
Every Christian must embrace Christian Zionism. It's better just let the holy people live in the Holy Land. That's what's needed. That's what's required for peace. It's all so easy, isn't it? And like that's what they tell you. It's literally like, if you come into the room and you drink the Kool-Aid, the alien will come in the flying saucer and it will take you to planet Neptune. And this guy is U.S. ambassador. Well, at least it's not Biden. At least it's not Kamala. They'd be doing the same thing. Yeah, we voted for change, man. That's why it's bad. Like, it's so absurd. It's so absurd. Maybe I'm just a retard for voting for Trump or whatever. And like, I'm sure people in the audience don't want to hear that. But like, I mean, like, are you okay with this? Like, does this guy speak for you? Does he speak for America? Because he thinks so. And Trump appointed him to his position. He's one of Trump's best friends. Alongside with Lindsey Graham, the guy who's running out of bombs and we're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. I mean, I'm a young person. I'm not 30, 40, 50, 60 years old yet. And I got a lot of life to live and a lot to look forward to. And it's just people over 60, man. I guess they just believe in this shit. And I guess until they're all gone, there's no hope. Because it's just going to like the boomer just keeps pulling the lever on the political slot machine to give these people more money or give them more votes. So like that's why in the midterms and in 2028, both the days in November, I'm going to get an entire bottle of Tito's and I'm going to drink it. Because I think that's a better tradition to do than voting into a failed system. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to work. You know, maybe I show up wasted and vote on local elections. Maybe that works, but I'm so done because like it's like the young people gotta fix the country and it's the people that don't want to work and it's ultimately like we don't want to work because you've created a system where like the biggest invalid crazy person is in charge and they want to declare theocratic war on the entire world because they worship an ethnicity of people. But you know it is what it is. It is what it is.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
Mm-hmm. You got another one here. What do we think of this? I'm not even going to react to it. I'm just going to play it.
1 second. I want to show you guys.
What happened?
Look at my tire right here.
Oh, boy.
Huge with, you know, it's so sad that this could have been an accident, but the first thing that comes to my mind is if this was an anti-Semitic act, if somebody knew my beard, my yarmulke, and said, let me do that to this guy.
It looks like it was placed there perfectly.
But it's like the inside of the tire. But it's so sad that even that has to go through my mind today. Nation, no people, no one should ever have to have that percolating. Is somebody attacking me for who I am? My race, religion? Are they? But the Jewish people today have that. This must stop. 1 second. I want to show you guys.
What happened?
Okay, so that's not a joke. That's for real. That's not a parody or a comedy video. That's for real. And I guess that's what we have to give all our money to and all our blood to. I guess that's what it is. I guess that's the reason why we have to go and fight in all these wars, is because anything that is contrary is anti-Semitism, and to not support endless war and death would be anti-Semitism. So may get banned off Twitter for saying that, whatever. All these other big people like Fuentes, or even like, like Jake Shields or Chud the Builder, people that like say the N-word, like attack people basically. Like, I like Jake Shields. You know what? Jake Shields doesn't attack people. All right. But like, my point is like, people are saying way crazier things than I'm saying, but I'm already at risk of being imminently banned. And I think it's because what I say, it's not a culture war thing. It's not a shutting out thing. It's not it doesn't come from a perspective of like trying to, get clicks. I'm not saying Jake does that. You know what? I should take him out of there. The Chud the Builder guy, the guy that calls people the N-word and whatever, you're dumb. That's stupid. That's like, it is what it is. I guess it's a career, so I shouldn't say it's stupid. And congratulations on the career. We're all just trying to, hustle at some level. And that's like why we all have to work. At the end of the day, we have to put a roof over our head. I have another job outside of this, which allows me to keep this legitimate. But, that's your grift. That's your grift. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I am facing the prospect of being banned because I talk about things like this. So that's why, like, I'm hesitant to even give a commentary on a video like that. But that video is real. That's not a joke. That guy's being 100% serious. Yeah. Trump reveals firm instructions he left on how to respond if Iran attempts to assassinate him, wipe them off the face of this earth. And then Netanyahu getting hyped about the prospect of a false flag. Because, like, of course, that's what's going to happen. It's like they set the stage for these things, man. And it's just like the last time we invited people for negotiations, and we blow them up. And then we go to war. Like, I'm tired tonight, guys. I'm going to end this stream soon, but never conflate grift and grind. Yeah, well, I'm calling them grifters. Or I'm calling one of them grifters, at least. Not calling Jake Shields that. I like him. Like, it's just all these people, man. It's like clavicular, bro. Like, just going and doing live streams in public. That's cool. Like that's, I guess that is a grind, and less of a grift, We should do an episode redefine what a grift is. That would be an interesting thing to do. And we got Andrew Tate, and we'll just play this. Again, no context. I'm just going to play the clip so that we can react to it.
You'd be like, bitch, you're nuts.
Could I offer something real quick? I think that's why Judaism is only passed down through the mother, technically, right? Because that's the only way that you can confirm that that child is actually Jewish, because it was birthed by the Jewish mother. You don't know with the father who actually impregnated her at the end of the day. Like, quite literally, Judaism to this day, it is only passed down through the mother.
Do you think that's an interesting point?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, this guy's like almost like 40 years old. Why do you have all the buttons on your shirt unbuttoned? We're not a serious world, man. I was about to say we're not in a serious country. We're not a serious planet. This is why the aliens haven't come.
Careful talking about them because I go to jail.
Oh.
But, dude, you'd be like, bitch, you're nuts.
Could I offer
That's
something?
true.
Okay, I'm sorry to subject y'all to this. We're going to end the stream soon. I want to take questions from y'all. Is there anyone that wants to call in? We might do that. I've got more footage here. Just going to go ahead and we'll just watch it, No commentary. If I say something about it, get banned on Twitter. Ain't that nice? Well, we've had fun tonight. We've covered a lot of topics tonight. I want to do a better weekday show for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm still just moving through January. Got a lot of things to figure out, but figuring them out. We're launching a lot of very, very cool stuff soon. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Of course, you're going to want to be here on Sunday. We're going to have Alex Stein on. Me and Tim are going to interview him. That starts at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's going to be super fun. I want to do more stuff with Alex. I want to do perhaps men on the street stuff with Alex, perhaps stuff out of state, like going to a big event or a conference and asking people questions. that would be really fun. So I want to talk to him about that, future projects and what he's involved in. We were going to have a Navy SEAL come on tomorrow and talk to us about the Venezuela operation and give us like specifics on tier 1 operators and how they do things and how they take care of business, just from a, an informative perspective. Like, not trying to put, like, obviously I'm against what happened in Venezuela, but like doing a deep dive on how it actually happened and the capabilities of these people from one of the people that's at that level of operator would be an interesting show to do. And we definitely want to still get him on. I think I'm going to have Jose Vega on as well. I think that's going to be next Sunday. I don't know yet. Still figuring that out, but we have a great guest lineup queued up for y'all. I will do a call-in show on Friday, and I'll be sure to promote that and announce that. I'll make sure to get at least 10 of y'all ready beforehand so that we can really have, a fun discussion and maybe even a debate. I want to test out if we can have 2 callers on the same line. We will do that Friday. And I know a lot of people have been asking me because I told them, and then people have been commenting and DMing me about like the Dan Bongino deep dive. I think I'm going to wait till February 2nd to cover him again. And then I think I'll do like a massive, like 3.5 hour episode where I'll have all the old tweets and then we'll like cover the show live and do all of it and just have fun ripping on him. So we're going to save that for a little while, but that will also come. So thank you, T-Bone. I appreciate it, man. Sorry for a little bit of low energy. Just happy to go over some of the stuff tonight. I mean, this is the stuff that piqued my interest and I wanted to share it, but I'm trying to bring more structure to these shows. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. I want to just say one last time, if you are watching on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, Rex Jones News. And if you are watching on Twitter, follow the Gray Area Talks accounts at Gray Area Talks on YouTube and Rumble and X. Thank you all. God bless. Good luck and good night.